53% of people say they worry about money every single day. Not about a market crash, about a bill, a repair, something smaller than a headline. That worry is older than money itself. The herd isn't wrong because it's loud. It's wrong because it's scared. I'm not part of that herd anymore. Haven't been for a long time. I watch it from a distance now. Not because I'm better than it, because I've seen where it runs. There's a real term for what I am. A Dagga Boy. An old bull who's left the herd, sometimes pushed out, sometimes walked out on his own. Battle-scarred, slower than he used to be. And if you ask anyone who spent time on the plains, more dangerous than the whole herd put together. Not because he's aggressive, but because he's not afraid anymore. He's already survived the thing the herd is still panicking about. I left the herd because I watched it run off a cliff, more than once. Not because the cliff was hidden, because everyone around it was running, and running together felt safer than stopping alone. There's a name for this in the world you actually live in. Psychologists and economists call it herd mentality, the tendency to copy the behavior of a larger group, even when your own information or your own judgment points somewhere else. It's not stupidity, it's not weakness, it's one of the oldest survival instincts there is. Out here, it works. If half the herd suddenly bolts, the smart move isn't to stop and verify there's a lion. The smart move is to run first and ask questions later. The herd that hesitates is the herd that gets eaten. That instinct kept my kind alive for a very long time. But markets aren't the plains. Nobody is hiding in the grass waiting to eat you for standing still. And that one instinct, copy the group, move now, think later, has caused more financial damage than almost anything else I've watched from this ridge. Flowers that cost more than houses. Companies worth more than entire countries for about 18 months. A financial system so confident in itself it forgot to check what it was actually holding. I'm not going to tell you the full story of any one of those tonight. Each one deserves its own time on this ridge, and we'll get there. Tonight is about the pattern underneath all of them, because once you can see the pattern, you start noticing it everywhere. Not just in market crashes, but in everyone's doing it moment your own life hands you. So what do you actually do with that? Here's the part that took me the longest to understand. The herd doesn't panic because it's dumb. It panics because for any single member of it, following the crowd is individually rational, even when the crowd as a whole is running toward a cliff. Nobody wants to be the one who stood still and got left behind, or the one who was wrong alone. It's safer to be wrong together than right. Not always do the opposite of the crowd. That's just herding in reverse. You're still letting the group decide your move, you've just flipped the sign. The animal who survives out here isn't the one who automatically bolts the opposite direction from everyone else. It's the one who's slow enough and steady enough to ask one question before moving. Is the herd running from something real, or from each other? Or from each other. That one question is the whole discipline. Before you buy what everyone's buying, or sell what everyone's selling, or panic because your feed is panicking, ask what you'd do if you'd never seen anyone else's reaction at all. If the answer changes once you strip the crowd away, you're not making a decision anymore. You're just following tracks in the dust. I don't know where the market goes next. I don't know where the market goes next. Nobody standing here does. Not me, not the loudest voice on your feed, not the herd itself. What I do know is which questions keep you standing on solid ground while everyone else finds out the hard way. That's what this place is for. Not predictions, not hot tips. Just an old bull, a good story, and the questions that keep you thinking for yourself when everything around you is telling you not to bother. I left the herd. I never left the plains. If that's the kind of thinking you want in your corner, subscribe. And if you want the research notes that didn't make it into this episode, the link to field notes from the herd is in the description.